But Brandon, we're going to move on to our next team, our next kind of bottom dweller here in the Coastal Division of the ACC. We're looking at the Virginia Cavaliers. Had a great game last year, almost beat Louisville before Lamar Action Jackson came to town and said, nah, I'm getting my 4th touchdown, and we're going to win this game and walk out of here. The thing with Virginia I want to touch on first comes down to just their whole kind of a culture. Is this the year that I know that you mentioned before we started recording that, this Virginia Cavaliers team is currently riding a 7-game losing streak dating back to last season? Is this the year that this Virginia Cavaliers team can kind of turn it around to kind of, okay, we laid down the foundation last year of this culture. Now we're starting to win a couple more games and seeing a little bit more success on the field than we did in 2016.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I hope that laying the foundation and saying that this is where we're going at 2-10, hopefully that's not it, because they need to be doing much more than that. 2-10 is just it's no good. It's no good at all. The odd thing is, the interesting thing is the fact that you take a look at their team. Kurt Brankert throws for over 2,500 yards. He has 21 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Taquan Mizell, 940 yards, 5 touchdowns. Reed has almost 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. And this team still only won 2 games. So there was offense there. They were averaging, I think, about 240 yards per game.
Well,
it comes down of offense per game, I think, or at least through the air. They
were last in rushing in the ACC. Dead last.
240 passing games, 240 passing yards per game, which isn't wonderful, but it's not the worst. And you would think that they would have at least won 4 games. I only won 2. And now this team is a team that they're losing both of those running backs that I talked about. They still have Bankert at quarterback, and I think that there's some things to get excited about, but now they've got to find a new running game.
Well, they also need to, a lot of things that we talked about last week when it came to the bottom teams in the Atlantic Division. What was the one kind of unit on the offense we kept talking about, hey, you don't have a good one of these, you're not going to be successful? It was the offensive line. And I mean, last year, this offensive line couldn't create any holes for the run game. The pass protection was kind of better, I guess. It was all right. But if you're not able to block both for your quarterback or your running backs, you're not going to be able to do anything no matter what kind of players you have behind it. So on offense, that's where it starts for me, kind of solidifying that offensive line game and getting that more structured. Because, I mean, we even talked about with Wake Forest, like, if you don't have a great offensive line, you're giving up a ton of sacks, it don't matter what Bankert does. If he's on his back or he's injured, he can't help you, and you're not going to win games. So, I mean, I look at that and I go, the offensive line is kind of what I look at most. But, of course, from the running back side of things, they need someone to step up and fill the holes that they have. This Virginia team, though, also, I mean, schedule-wise, they start off with their 4 non-conference games. I mean, maybe they win 2 of them, maybe. I think William and Mary for sure, and then Indiana, UConn, and Boise flip a coin. But, I mean, the good thing about their schedule in the ACC is the 2 teams that they got to play from the Atlantic, Louisville, which, good. We knew we were going to probably get one of the good ones, but then Boston College. Boston College might be able to be a manageable opponent more so than if it's like, great, we drew Florida State and Louisville. Like, at least you didn't draw 2 of the power dogs from the Atlantic. You got one in Louisville that you got to play on the road, but then you got a manageable one in Boston College that if you can see some success and some kind of improvement by October 21st, you might be able to win that game.
I think that if you take a look at the defense and what they've got, you've got to be surprised that they weren't better last season.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they have a lot of those guys returning, you've got to be thinking that the secondary is going to get better, going to be able to stop a few more people. You've got to be thinking that, okay, we're going to have a couple more anchors in the linebacking position, and which I think they will. The thing is that how consistent will they be able to be?
Mm-hmm.
Will they bring consistency right away, or are we still going to be seeing some shades of that 7-game losing streak to end the season where they could not stop anybody?
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, a really big part right now, and that's the big question. You've got some really, really, really good guys right now. You've got linebacker Micah Kaiser and then safety Quinn Blanding, and those two guys are the anchors for this defense, and they're the leaders. And they've got to be able to be strong, vocal leaders and get these guys to buy in and to really, really work hard throughout the season to get better. I mean, that's part of it too, I think. And it's being mentally there, mentally tough, not getting burnt on, routes where you should have done this, you did that. It's a lot of that kind of stuff, I think. And it's stuff that last year Virginia just flat out didn't do well. And this year, I think they know that they realize that they've got last year in their mind. They don't want to look like that again. They don't want to be that embarrassed again in those games that they played. They played one good game on defense, and that was against Duke, where they had 5 interceptions. Outside of that, they maybe had 5 interceptions. The entire rest of the season. It was a team that was really, really down there in the cellar. But I think with that year under their belt and having that in the back of their mind, you don't want to do that again. We got an example of something you don't want to do again. There's a reason to be motivated to be better. How can you be worse than what they were last year, especially when they have the talented guys that they do on defense?
Just because you don't want to be that again doesn't mean it's going to happen. And I look at the schedule and the talent that they play up against. I don't see a lot of wins. Like I said, William and Mary, maybe one other one if they squeak out a game here or there.
Well, okay,
I think Duke and Virginia are on 2 different courses. Duke is a team that can look at it and say, hey, you know what? We know what we were in 2015. We know we can get back to that. Virginia doesn't have that. They tried to lay down a culture last year, and you could say, yeah, they laid down the culture, but it also looked like their head coach was a little bit in over his head as well. And I look at this and I think the talent that they play in the ACC, unless they get an upset victory here or there, I don't see an ACC win on their schedule. I could be wrong. I'm usually wrong about things, but I look at the schedule and I go, I don't see a win. You're playing North Carolina on the road. That's going to be tough. Pitt on the road, Louisville on the road, Miami on the road. Virginia Tech, you're probably not going to beat. Boston College, you might be able to, but that defense is tough. And if you don't have an offensive line, that Boston College defense will eat you alive for breakfast, lunch, and dinner before spitting you out. And I look at the rest of the non-conference schedule, and like I said, William and Mary is the only game where I go, there, I'll give you that one. Otherwise, I think that the Cavaliers might be in for another 1-2 win season. I don't think it's going to be a positive season for the Cavaliers.
Well, let me tell you this. You have to go back to 2011 to find a season when the Cavaliers had over 5 wins, and that's when they had 8 wins. They went to a bowl game. It was the Chick-fil-A Bowl against Auburn. They lost 43-24. And I'm not saying that Virginia is going to come out and they're going to be this fabulous team.
You're just being more optimistic than I am.
I'm just trying to say you sucked ass last season. How can you be worse? You've got to be better. You have got to be better. And I guess I take a look. You're going to beat William and Mary. That's just kind of how I see it. Maybe you don't, but you're going to. And you win that game. Indiana, I see Indiana as a decent team. Could you win that game? Yeah, you could be a sleeper in it. UConn, you could win that game against UConn. Boise State, no idea about Boise State. Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. Duke, maybe. Maybe you could win that one. North Carolina, probably not. Boston College, maybe. Pitt, probably not. Georgia Tech, probably not. Louisville, no. Miami, no. Virginia Tech, no. So that would put them at, I wouldn't be playing for them, but 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. And it's in their first 5 games.
Yeah, and I mean, the big thing that worries me is I'm looking at the Athlon Sports preview, and they even say in their kind of final analysis that Coach Mendenhall admitted he underestimated the scope of the rebuilding process. Like, this team is not close to being a winner. This team is going to be a rebuilding process. And the thing that you have to do if you're Mendenhall is you have to create the culture of, you need to instill the order, the accountability, the do the right thing, just to use the cliche there. And you have to build your culture to attract recruits, and then the wins will come. Because the thing I look at is from his time with BYU, the worst season he had at BYU, 6-6 in 2005. That was it. 11-2, 11-2, 10-3, 11-2, 7-6. Then they go over to be an independent, and it's 10-3, 8-5, 8-5, 8-5, 9-4. He had never seen a 2-10 season. That's why coming in last year was kind of funny when he playfully was joking with fans and was like, you know what, don't buy the bowl tickets yet. Don't worry, coach, we're not buying the bowl tickets. I ain't even gonna put the bowl tickets on order for 2 years from now with how this Virginia team has been looking. So I think last year was a little bit of a, whoa, okay, didn't know this was the situation I was fully getting into. Thought that it'd be at least a 4 or 5 win team, and he's got it. The rebuild now has to start. Now you know what you're cooking with.
But here's the thing though, is that it could have and probably should have been a 4 or 5 win team. That's the thing.
Okay.
Is that, I mean, come on, look at it. You know, they've got some of the pieces on defense. I mean, they were about as shocked, I think, as other people were.
But they're not getting it to
to
click.
They only had 2 wins. But what I'm saying is that I could see them being able to win 4 games this season because they're returning those same people. Are you not getting it?
I look at it and I go, I don't care who they're returning. I look at the schedule and I think that the talent that they are playing outweighs the talent that they return. And I think that the only way this Cavalier team is going to get to that level is on the simplest level. Bring in better talent from recruiting. However, it's a double-edged sword because, Brandon, as we say every time in recruiting, how do you bring in better recruits? You got to do what?
You have to bring them strippers. I mean, you have to...
Got to win games.
Yes, that's it.
Got to get the
I
W's.
was confused.
No, we're not Louisville. We're not Louisville's basketball program here. But, yeah, they got to win games, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. But this year, I'm going to be painfully honest. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 2-10 again. And we're just just bad this year. And by bad, I mean record-wise. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, yeah, we played well. Man, our record doesn't show it, but we played well. Any last thoughts before we move on into our next team up the totem pole, which is the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets?
I think we talked to death.
Okay. Virginia fans, let us know down below what you guys think. Maybe you guys are more optimistic than I am about your team. Let me know down below in the comment section. And Brandon, we're going to move on into the Yellow Jackets